Two friends, two time zones, and a shared love of stories.
I'm Freya.
And I'm Jamie.
Bridging time zones one chapter at a time.
Welcome to Once Upon a Time Zone. Hi everyone, welcome back to Once Upon a Time Zone, episode 30. We were just kind of fangirling over ourselves that we've made it this far. So welcome, this is a milestone episode. Also a fun one because I think basically pretty much for the rest of this year, once a month we're going to do these monthly reading recaps where we're going to go over our previous reading month. So today we're going to go over how January went. We're going to update each other on, I guess, how our reading goals are going, what reading moods we're in. We're also going to go over best and worst books of our months, and we're also going to take some time to look forward to the next month, so to February, looking at some new releases, some exciting things that are bookish or unbookish that we're excited for in the coming month.
Possibly.
Possibly. So yeah, a fun chit-chatty one, a little catch-up, so welcome. But before we get into all of that, we have to do current reads. So Freya, what are you currently reading?
Guys, I have a very exciting update. On Sunday, so we're filming this Tuesday for me, I finished Oathbringer. I did it. I finished it before the next episode. It was a big thing. To be honest, I didn't know if I was going to because I think I got to the weekend and I had about 500 pages left, which I felt like I was so far into it because like you're hundreds and hundreds of pages in at that point, and then you're like, no, I've still got 500 pages to go. But come Sunday afternoon, I had about 300 pages left and I was like this is going to be a bit of a push. No. Oh my gosh, everything happened in the last like 250 pages and I could not put it down. I was like on the edge of my seat, not breathing. I was so tense that entire time. So that definitely helped, I think. It did not feel like a push. To be honest, I was kind of, because like you'd like warned me that it was a little bit slower, the first half of the book, than the other books in the series. So I feel like that kind of helped me because I was a little bit more prepared to be like, yeah, like it might be a little bit of a push. And to be honest, things were happening. But if I were to like explain to someone else that these things happened, I think you would expect it to happen in like 200 pages. And you're like, no, that was 900 pages of stuff. And I was like, things happened. And it was interesting to read about, but it was just across 900 pages instead of like 200, 300 pages. So yeah, but like, oh my God, 5-star. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Just also the writing style, the ending, like that last few, I don't know, the last action, I guess, the last big climax of the book was like Brandon Sanderson's writing style. Everything was so quick. There were such short sentences, such short paragraphs. It was like boom, boom, changing perspectives. And it felt like you were watching an action movie or something. It felt like I was in Game of Thrones or something and like getting all the different perspectives on like everything that was going on and everything was going down at once. And yeah, amazing writing. I think that's probably one of like the best sections of writing I've read from him so far.
Yeah, it's my favorite Sanderlanche so far. And yeah, I think it was it last week or a few weeks ago when you were talking about switching points of view and how Brandon Sanderson tends to stay with one character for a long time. I feel like it's just like that much more effective when at the end of his books, when you start going paragraph to paragraph, switching from character to character, then it's like you really get that feeling of like, okay, we're going now, we're going now, like because you have gone through such like a slow kind of a pace, and then all of a sudden it's like, woo.
You're right. It makes it so much more effective. I was just, oh my gosh. So getting to what I'm currently reading, I actually picked up like 2 books and I thought I was in the mood for a thriller and I was like, I'm actually not. And it's really hard to move on from like really intense books like that. So I decided to go back and do a reread of Clockwork Angel. Which is really fun because I recently found out that there's a new series coming in the Shadowhunters world.
What?
I don't know why this hasn't been more advertised, but like the only reason I found it out was because I was scrolling through like an article of like the best releases coming this year. And there was like a Cassandra Clare one. They're like, yeah, this is the last installment in the Shadowhunters world. I thought we were done. I thought we were done with the Shadowhunters world. But now we're getting a new trilogy. So my now aim, and I have to tell you what my comments say about this, is to like reread some of my favorite Shadowhunters series. So probably just Clockwork Angel and Last Hours. And all my comments when I mentioned that in my latest video have been like, can you force Jamie to do the read with you?
True.
Could she read along with
True.
you? And I was like,
That's
it's fine. I'll
fair.
just like talk about how much fun I'm having rereading the series, and that'll just slowly influence you to pick them up.
It just might. I feel like a buddy read is one of the most motivating things to convince
Yeah.
a reader to pick up a book. So, I mean, that could be a good tactic. I still need to actually pick up the correct book to read because, everyone
Yeah.
knows that I bought the wrong one.
Well, so you bought Clockwork Angel, right? Is
No,
that the
I
one you bought?
bought, I don't even remember what it's called. One of the chain ones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I was going to say you probably could have started with Clockwork Angel or the Mortal Instruments. Like I think they're both starting points.
Yeah,
Now
my
that
pl
I'm rereading it, I'm like, oh, they're pretty like it does tell you it a lot. It's not like Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone where you kind of like
mm,
Six of Crows, I feel like you're thrown in the deep end, but this is a pretty good introduction. But no, Last Hours you kind of do need a little
I
bit of
know.
context.
I know, because my plan
Damn.
was to pick up one of the Clockwork Angel books, but it's so confusing. All the spines look the exact same. And
Oh,
so
I
I was
know.
just like, I was looking at them in the bookstore. I was also filming. I was filming like a bookshop vlog. So I was already like sweating and stressed. And I was like holding my camera and making sure I got shots in. And so I was like so overwhelmed, so overstimulated that I just like, I was looking at this whole shelf of Cassandra Clare books. And I was like, I just need to find the number one because number one means the start. And then so I picked up number one and it was the wrong series.
Yeah, there's numerous number ones. It's really hard. I feel like I just got lucky in that sense that it just so happened that like the Mortal Instruments was the first
Hmm.
one I picked up at the library. Like it was by pure chance. I was like, oh, this is the first in the series, and luckily the
Good
series
for
they had
you.
on the shelf at that time.
Good for you.
So
It's on my birthday every year. I do go on a little book shopping spree for my birthday. So
it's very
it's
soon.
it's definitely high up on my like list to look for that book
Okay.
and hopefully I'll actually pick it up on my birthday so I actually own it.
That would be very exciting. Um, but yeah, that's my little reading update. What are you currently reading? I don't know what you're reading at the moment.
I'm reading Dark Age. I'm doing it. I'm into it. I'm
That's
like 200
scary.
pages in. It is bleak. I'll just start out with that. It is very bleak. It's, I feel like the other books, especially in the first trilogy, have all had this overriding theme of friendship going through the entire
Hmm.
book. And yes, it's brutal. Yes, it's tragic. But there's sort of these little positive, cozy moments that you get with friendship
Hmm.
bonding and found family and stuff. And I feel like because the second arc is really exploring more of the war and how it actually affects you. And it really is sort of stripping out the glory in war, which I think is interesting to read because a lot of fantasies portray war as like this big, like, dramatic, glorious moment and you become a hero or whatever. I feel like Pierce Brown in this arc too is really like undoing all of that, really reversing that and being like, no, it's horrific over here. Like, you're just an
Yeah.
individual, you're just a human, and you are just in this big, disaster. And so that's the feeling of this book. So it's not happy. It's not a happy read, but
No.
there are so many hard-hitting moments. He's just one of
Mm.
those authors that you'll be so entrenched into your characters and what is happening to them and you'll be so into the story that like Pierce Brown will just drop a sentence once in a while that is so philosophical and so just like, by the way, remember, this is what's happening, this is the theme of the book, and then you read that one sentence and you're like, oh, oh no. So I'm kind of in the trenches, but in the best way. Like I do love these types of books that really open your
Yeah.
eyes and really explore these topics. It is reminding me of
Mm.
the Poppy War trilogy in that way because in that book, like or in that series, you do also really like find that balance of on the morality scale between what's good, what's bad, how far do you go in a war before it's too far, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm deep in the trenches. That's my current read.
And I feel like because you're so deep into this world as well, like, is this 5th book?
Book 5.
Yeah. So you're so deep into this world already. It's just like that just adds to the intensity.
Yeah.
Wow. Ending January with a big one.
Yeah. I mean, it also is physically big. So this one is 750 pages long, but with tiny, tiny, tiny font. So it's like not as long as Oathbringer. I'd be curious to see what the word count is,
Not a
because
lot
I
of
feel
books.
like, yeah, I feel like these ones do feel quite long. Like the first
Yeah.
trilogy feels not short, but they're also like the first trilogy looks thin, but they're not actually short books. I feel like these books are also the type of print that, you know, they use like Bible thin pages and the font's tiny. So it's like 750
Yeah.
pages, but like really long 750 pages.
It's like
And
a
also
long,
like,
yeah.
yeah, and you want to read it a little bit slower because there's so much going on politically and psychologically, words. So you do, want to read through it a little bit slower. And because it is sci-fi, I also just tend to read it a little bit slower. But I mean, it's good so far. It's really good so far. It's just like
Okay.
really not happy.
I feel like there is, like, speaking of like long books and then like short long books, like there is certain books, they can feel like a short 700 pages or they can feel like a really long 700 pages. And yeah, that can really impact your reading experience of it. So
Yeah.
wow, please update me when you finish this. I want to know the rating because I think, is it this one that has the most, is this the one that has like a lot of people either really enjoy it or really like find it really slow?
I think it's this one and Iron Gold as a pair,
Okay,
but
so the like
I
later trilogy.
yeah, and I did like Iron Gold a lot, so I feel like I'm on the love side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we, I mean, we've kind of been like chatting, but should we get deeper into our January reading months?
Yeah. I feel like I was really productive in January. I'm actually very happy with myself
Do you,
because
it's probably because you were snowed in. You had no choice.
oh yeah. So we were just chit-chatting before we hit record on this episode, but we just had a big snow day here in Canada, and also Freya's in the middle of a heat wave. So she is suffering with 45-degree Celsius weather, which like to me sounds unfathomable. And I am suffering with waist deep height of snow, which Freya can't fathom. So we're literally both on opposite sides of the spectrum, and I can't
Like,
I don't know what it feels like to be in 45-degree weather, and you don't know what it feels like to be waist deep in snow. So we're just like, we're very opposite right now.
what is the temperature? What is the, like, what are your daily temperatures kind of hitting at the moment?
With wind chill, I would say like -22 on average.
Like, I genuinely, for all like my Australian viewers as well, I feel like maybe if you live in Tasmania, you might get colder than we do. But I cannot understand that. Sometimes, like, our coldest nights, I think, get to like -5 maybe. And that's like, that's really cold for us. So
That's like the warmest point in the day. Some days don't even reach that.
I would be such a wimp. I would be such a wimp. I am much better at dealing with the heat. I'm much more versed with that.
I'm the type of person that can't deal with either side. I feel like my blood flow's not very good. So when it's hot, I get so hot, and when it's cold, I get so cold. I'm just like not self-regulating in temperature, so like I'm never okay.
Literally, it gets to the point where like my windows are open, which is why like you have like some nice light. As soon as I finished filming this, the blinds are going down. We're like locking this place up. It's going into like just to keep the heat out because it's
Cold
not
cave.
fun. But yeah, but no, honestly, I feel like the weather definitely has been influencing our reading habits because you don't have much else to do. Like you're inside once you've done your editing for the day. Like what else are you gonna do? So it's kind of good for that side of things.
Yeah.
What's your book count at the moment?
I think it's 12 right now, which is pretty good.
Good, yeah.
I think my Goodreads at one point was saying I was like 7 books ahead of schedule on my reading goal. No big deal. That's why I like to set my reading goal low, guys. I like to set it low.
Well, low,
because
she says.
okay, well, low for me.
Subjectively low.
Yeah. On my scale, it's low. So that's feeling good. And I also feel very proud of myself because I did continue some series. I did finish some series. And I mean, I read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was one of my big reading goals for this year, which was a wonderful
Yeah.
experience. We'll get more into, I mean, we did go into it last episode, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that was amazing. But then at the same time, in between all of these fantasies and series, I also did pick up quite a bit of lit fic, which was also another priority I had. So I feel like it was a really good, like, mixed reading month. And I think that's sort of to be expected because with reading goals, New Year's resolutions, I feel like January is like usually your most productive month. And then hopefully you don't start dropping off. But statistics and trends
Yeah.
say most people start dropping off after that. So I'm like, I kept it in January. I'm really proud of that.
Good on you. Yeah, I was just watching I've been like backtracking your videos a little bit because I've been skipping one on like now and then because you upload so much. I know.
so
I can't
rude.
keep up. I was watching this morning when I was getting ready. I was watching your reading like the best books of 2025, like nominations and stuff. And I saw that you picked up like they were pretty much all lit fic and really, really intriguing. It's like, yeah, we'll get into more about like what we want to read in February, but that's definitely influencing a lot of that. And I was like, look at her go, hitting all those reading goals.
Woo! Diversifying my reads.
Yeah.
We're doing great, guys. Okay, how was your January though?
Good. So, yeah, I've actually read more than I thought. Considering I read Oathbringer, I've read 8 books so far. So I'm on my 9th at the moment, which is pretty good for me because I feel like I range, I guess, anywhere from like in study months, it's usually more like 7, but like a little bit like anywhere from 10, like 7 to 10, I would say. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself so far. I think because I did a little bit of like a 24-hour readathon, that definitely helps.
Those do
So I think if I can be doing that every other month, just like realistically, I'm trying to see what I can do and just kind of do the more chill style where you just do like 12 hours one day, 12 hours the next day. Just today on weekends you have off. I feel like that'll really help get my like, get reads done a little bit more. Because whilst it's not about the numbers, obviously, I feel like it's very easy to just really slowly read a book and then you get to like the 20th of the month and you're like, I've only read like 4 books or something. I'm like, damn it. So whilst I do think it's important to take your time, sometimes I feel like it's very easy to lose motivation when I'm reading, like personally, when I'm reading quite slowly. So yeah, off to a pretty good start. And I think I'll be finished. Well, yeah, I'll finish the Shadowhunters because like the first book at least. Because it's so fun. I literally woke up, like my partner had to leave at 5:30 this morning in the morning. And I was like, do you know what I will do right now? So I just sat in bed and read for like an hour instead of going back to sleep. That's when you know the book's good, when you choose like the book over sleep. For me, that's like an early morning. I'm not a late person. I will fall asleep straight away. When I watch like reading vlogs of people staying up till like 12 reading, I'm like, how do you do that? Because my eyes just will shut. Like I will fall asleep with the book on my face before I can stay up late reading. So yeah, quite amazing. But an interesting reading month overall. What were your kind of quality, speaking of quality over quantity, what were your quality of reads? Like, did you have your best ones, your worst ones?
Yeah, I think I didn't read any books that I hated, which is a very, very good thing. I feel like
really good.
they were all average to really amazing. Like I definitely had, I mean, I think my only 5-star reads were the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
Because I just had to. It was so hard for me to rate those books too because I'm like, I'm so biased. There's no way I'm going into this with no bias. And I don't know if the movies didn't exist. I don't know what I would rate these books, completely honest. And I feel like as a reader, it's good to be sort of aware of your own biases, but just kind of live with it and accept it. So yeah, I was like, I have to rate these 5 stars. Like there's no other option for me.
Literally, when it's a reread of such like a loved series, it is really hard to like. I was just thinking of that when I was reading The Shadowhunters because I was like, this is a YA romantasy series. Like in reality, I'm sure there is so much wrong with this, but in my eyes, I am seeing no flaws because of like how sentimental this series is. And I feel like it's the same with Lord of the Rings, I mean, it's like our introduction to high fantasy. Like it was the spark. So it's hard not
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So that was definitely a high point. And I definitely had some other books that were 4.5s or above 4-star reads. I think I had a lot of average ones too, sitting between 3 and 4 stars. I think most of those were maybe the literary fictions. I think no, actually some of them I
Yeah.
rated above 4 stars. But I feel like with lit fic, it is a little bit more of a middle ground, hit or miss with me. I feel like when I pick up a fantasy, I basically usually know what I'm expecting, so my ratings are usually a
Yeah.
little bit more predictable, I guess, or they're either like I hate them or I love them. But with a lit fic, it's like you can not like a book or not enjoy a book, but you can still feel satisfied after reading it. Like you still feel like you've learned something from it. You still realize it was an important thing to read and like really helped your reading journey and you got so much out of it, but like you might not necessarily have enjoyed it, but you don't regret reading it, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like it's just a different type of a genre. So I feel like I'm also like, I rate genres differently. I have a different rating scale for every genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like figuring out my lit fic ratings. And I feel like for a lit fic to be a 5 star, it requires a lot more than a fantasy to give me a 5 star.
Yeah. I actually find your reading vlogs really entertaining when you're reading lit fic, especially I think because it's like you're probably your newest genre though, because I don't know what you're going to rate them like. And throughout, even though I feel like as you said with a fantasy, and I feel like it's the same for me, you can pretty quickly tell my overall vibe towards the book and like whether I'm really enjoying it. Same with you. Like I can usually when I'm watching your vlogs, I'm like, oh yeah, like she's enjoying this one,
Yeah.
or oh she's like finding the good parts of it, but like I can see that it's not quite hitting. But with Litfic, I feel like when I was watching your updates, like sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm loving it, I'm obsessed. And then like one thing would happen and be like, well, that's changed my entire perspective on it.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I just feel like doesn't happen in, I guess, the genres you're so familiar with.
Yeah. That was like, I mean, you're probably talking about Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild because
Yes.
that was just a
Yeah.
roller coaster of a book. The first chapter of that book was insanity. The biggest plot twist I have ever experienced in a first chapter. Like how do you throw in a plot twist in chapter 1? I don't know,
Yeah.
but Loretta Rothschild did it with that one. And then I just immediately started feeling so emotional. Like before page 30, I was crying. Like tears were being
Yeah.
shed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like for this book to make me feel all these emotions right now is insane. And then, yeah, it's just like the direction of the plot went somewhere that I was like, I'm a little bit unsure about this, but I'm still going along with it. And then the way it ended was a little bit like iffy for me. So overall, the book wasn't a favorite, I would say, but there were still so many good parts to it
Yeah.
that like I will remember those forever and they will stick with me for so long. And I think those moments were genius, so well done. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the overall package of the book. Like it really, really differs more or varies more, I think, depending on what happens in a lit fic.
So interesting. And even actually, I'll go back to my January reads, I promise. But like talking about like books we're excited to read in Feb, I've been seeing so many people. Like I just watched Rachel Catherine's vlog on, is it Wild Dark Shore?
Yeah.
By
Yeah, yeah.
Charlotte. I
Charlotte
can't quite remember her
McConaughey.
last name. Yes. I have been seeing so many people read it at the moment. And I feel like what's really interesting is some people are rating it a 5 star and like one of the best books you've ever read. And then it was interesting seeing you and saying again that there were elements of the book you really enjoyed, but there were also elements that like took it down that rating. So now I'm like, oh, I'm really curious to pick up that one. Yeah, there's actually a lot of like lit fics that are really intriguing me at the moment. So, and I feel like
Yeah.
the bookish community as like a whole is definitely leaning towards. I don't know whether that's just like the people I watch, on like BookTube specifically, but it's kind of nice to see everyone like branching out a little bit, reading some things that get them outside their comfort zone, and yeah, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, can I also just say, Sarah DeMoff followed me on Instagram. She, because I think
Did you
I
have a fangirl
posted,
moment?
yeah, no, I totally did because I posted an Instagram reel and it was the one where I filmed every time I finished a book, and The Bright Years by Sarah Demoff was in that one. And did I tag her? Yeah, I think I tagged all of those authors. No, I didn't. I didn't tag all of those authors. I
You just
usually
got
only
on her
tag,
algorithm.
yeah, I only tag authors in TBR videos. I don't like tagging them in any types of
Yeah.
reviews, even if they're positive. Like, I think it's just authors probably don't want to see that. So in this one, I didn't tag her, but I did just put in the description, I put a list of the books in the video. So maybe she was searching up The Bright Years, or she has like a tag
Yeah.
for her, like a search for her name or something. But she found it. She just found my reel and she liked it. And then she followed me. And I was like, what? And then I sent her a DM and she sent me a DM back. And it was a wonderful moment.
When like an author, like that happened actually on our podcast Instagram when V. Schwab, guys, literally
Oh,
V. Schwab.
yeah.
Like we
V. Schwab
I
DM'd
remember
us.
it happened overnight, obviously. I was sleeping. And the first thing I see on my phone in the morning is Jamie being like, look who just DM'd us and commented on our post. And I was like, am I dreaming still? Like, am I not awake right now? It's so crazy when authors, like, I love it though, when authors interact
Yep.
with, like, not even just their fans, like, just their readers. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's so important to be, like, gauging what your readers are enjoying and everything like that. It's so cool.
I love interacting with authors. What was your highlight though of January?
Obviously, Oathbringer was a
Yeah.
massive highlight of mine. I'm kind of like not sure when I want to continue. I'll read like a little novella, but I'm not sure when I want to go on to Rhythm of War. I was talking to actually my bit of a track, my sister's partner. He's currently doing a reread of the series to read the fifth one because he read them, he said, like ages ago when he was in high school.
Oh.
Um, and like he genuinely cannot remember anything because it was like years and years and years ago. And so he's been doing a reread at the moment, which is kind of funny because we've been kind of like bouncing off each other. He is reading Oathbringer at the moment. And he was like, all I remember from Rhythm of War is that it was so dense. He was like, it was good, but really dense and political. And I was like, oh, don't tell me that. That's not going to make me want to pick it up because I feel like the ending of Oathbringer was such a, I don't know, it felt like a very, oh, okay, like I finished like a kind of concluding moment
Yeah.
for that book. And I mean, Way of Kings, the first book, I was like, I need to know what happens
You gotta
next.
know.
And
Yeah.
pretty much same with like Words of Radiance as well. But I feel like with Oathbringer, whilst I do want to see what happens with those like few kind of, I don't know, I feel like there's a few little lines that we need to follow. A lot of it does feel quite conclusive. I'd be interested to
Yeah.
know like the gap, if he took like a gap in writing them actually.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's because I've been feeling a very similar way. Because I finished Oathbringer in December, and for the
Yeah.
past, I want to say 4 or 5 months, I've been doing one Brandon Sanderson a month. And January is the only month that I haven't done a Brandon Sanderson. And I think it is
Yeah.
the same feeling of Oathbringer just felt so concluded. Like, yes, obviously, there are still things to do, but it feels like such a new chapter that's going to start that
Yeah.
it feels like a really natural cut point. And it's like, yeah, I could just pick up the novella that comes next, Dawnshard, I believe it's called. But I haven't felt like, oh, I need to pick it up right now. Even though it's probably a very easy read.
Yeah.
It's short, it's a novella. Like Edge Dancer was very easy to read. So yeah, that's really interesting because yeah, I'm feeling the same way as well.
Okay, interesting because like I was like, oh, maybe it's just because I've just finished it. Like I only just finished it. That's why I'm not. But then I thought back to like Words of Radiance, and when I just finished Words of Radiance, I was like, oh, I kind of want to go on to Oathbringer, and the only reason I didn't was because of the novella that I had to read in between, and that like made it a little bit of a break. So it's interesting to hear that like a month later, you're still
Yeah.
kind of feeling that. All the experts, the Stormlight Archive experts, let us know if with Rhythm of War is actually that scary. Like,
Yeah,
please
it's like
convince me.
because on one hand, I don't want to put it off for that long because then I feel like I'll be even more confused.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
definitely, I don't want to lose steam with the series, but for some reason, I feel like the series is done, even though it's not done.
Yeah.
It's such a weird feeling. I don't know why.
I feel like I think because we got a lot of answers in that book. I had so many questions by the end of the first two books. And I feel like I can't say a lot, but we got a lot of answers. And from that, I feel quite like I've got a bit of closure almost. I think I'll try and read the novella at least in February.
Maybe we could do it together.
See where we go from there when we pick up Rhythm of War. Another highlight, of course, was the first 2 books in the Jade City saga, Greenbone Saga. Obviously, I think I talked about this a few episodes ago, but obsessed, kind of in your sense of like lit fic. Urban fantasy is very new to me, so I feel like I can't quite like track the progression of the plot. I keep getting caught off guard when things happen. I genuinely have to I have to reread the page because I'm like, did I just read that right? And Fonda has such an incredible way of writing where it kind of reminds me of Fredrik Backman, to be honest. She almost just says things as it is. And you're like in such a calm way that you kind of go, wait, did I misinterpret that? Like, did I actually read what just happened? And same with like Fredrik Backman, who I also read this month. Amazing as well. Oh my gosh, us against you. Oh my God.
You did have a good reading month.
I did. I definitely had some reads, but the reads that were good were really good. So yeah, I'm terrified to go into the winners though. I don't know when, which is the 3rd book in the Beartown series for those listening. I don't know when I am going to face that because the roller coaster of emotions that Us Against You was, I didn't think, like I had no idea where the series was going to go from Beartown because again, I feel like everything was very conclusive towards the end of the first book. I didn't even know it was a trilogy actually when I picked up the first book. I thought it was a standalone. I was not ready for that emotional damage.
Yeah. I will say Us Against You, I think, is still the one that made me feel the most emotional in the Beartown trilogy as a whole. Like the 3rd one dives more into politics, which is an interesting take.
Yep.
It definitely has a lot of, it still has those moments where you get really emotional, but a lot of it, like a big chunk of it, is very political. So it is a little bit of a different feeling book. So I don't know if that scares you more than it makes you feel good.
That might. I feel like what I did with Us Against You was like I read a chunk and then I had a little break over a few days where I read like some cute little fun fantasies and then I dove back into it. And I think I want to take a similar approach, especially because the Winners is so big. I want to take a similar approach to that, whether it's like if I'm feeling too much or like it's getting a bit dense or, I'm not in the right mindset to be reading it or it's late at night or whatever, I can pick up another book and like maybe if I have like this little stack of fun fantasies or something, I can dive into when I actually want to like go to sleep. That might be useful.
Okay, but speaking of kind of meh books, what were some of your low points of the month?
Probably the one that surprised me the most is To Bleed a Crystal Blooms by Sarah A. Parker. So Sarah A. Parker also wrote When the Moon Hatched, which we all know, love, like same with Jamie, like great romantasy in our eyes. And To Bleed a Crystal Bloom is the first book in a series I think was written a good amount of time before. Oh my God, When the Moon Hatched. But it was obviously independently published, like When the Moon Hatched, and now they're getting traditionally published. And so I was kind of excited to like dive into a world by her because what I loved about When the Moon Hatched was the fact that it felt really well balanced. Like you had this incredible romance, but you also had these mythical creatures and a really good plot line and some great action and even a bit of politics. Like it was a really well-rounded book in my eyes, and it really like hooked me. This was a Rapunzel retelling, but I couldn't with the romance. I couldn't. It was like,
oh no.
To be completely honest, our protagonist meets her love interest when she's a baby. She's like, this is in the like on the back. She's a baby lost in the woods and her parents have been taken and he rescues her. He's like a full-grown man. I think he's like a vampire or something, but it never explicitly alludes to that. Like it just kind of, there's like prompts and you're like, oh, possibly he doesn't age, but like it's never said the actual, I don't know, he doesn't age. And so he knows her. Like he raises her.
No.
I couldn't. It's like it's the fact that he was like almost like this father figure. I know he wasn't very like paternal or anything like that, but he just has known her since she was a baby. And that threw me off from the beginning. Like, I really couldn't get behind it from that point on. And at one point, I was like, oh, there's another love interest. No, I was wrong. There wasn't. It just, yeah.
So you were rooting for the other one, and then it wasn't.
I was rooting for the
Didn't
maybe
happen.
possible.
Oh.
I was grasping to anything. And I just felt like we really, like, I get that she was in, like, obviously Rapunzel retelling. She was very much, like, captive in this very small amount. Like, it was a castle rather than just, like, a tower. She was allowed to go in the castle grounds. But it made the world feel so small, and, like, there really wasn't anything in this fantasy world apart from this tiny little land. And there was, and, like, I assume in the next few books we're going to explore that more. But I kind of wanted, like, at least hints of to, like, oh, you know, there's more out there. And, like, she wasn't really even wondering that much about what was out there. And I don't know. There was just a lot where I was just reading it and going, how did this, like, how is When the Moon Hatched so incredibly developed?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was an interesting one for me. I think I rated it a 3 stars. I think that was a bit generous. That is something I really want to start honing in on for the rest of the year. I want to be more critical with my ratings and understand as well that 3.75 stars is a good rating. Like, I don't know why in my head that's a bad rating, but, like, if, like, any 3 stars, 3 point whatever stars, like, that's not a bad rating. I feel like below 3 is a bad rating, but
Yeah, basically if I feel more negatively on a book versus positive, then it's under a 3-star.
yeah. Which this one probably should have been. I'll probably end up changing my rating for that one in my wrap up. In the moment, I was like, there's elements, because there was, like, I feel like in true Sarah A. Parker fashion, some really great mythical beings. Like, there were some really great elements that I wish were explored a little bit more, and I probably would have had more fun if that were the case. So there were elements that kept me reading, but yeah, probably, as you put it, felt more negative. What was your, like, least favorite? Or, as you said, you didn't really have that many bad reads, though.
Yeah, so my lowest was actually another Bridgerton book. But it was the best Bridgerton book that I have read so far. So it was a solid 3-star for me. It was An Offer from a Gentleman, and so by Julia Quinn, of course, and this follows Benedict's story. So I read it in the perfect time just for season, 4 of the TV series to come out.
Yeah.
I thought there were a lot of moments in it that outshone the other Bridgerton books. I think one of them was that there was a little bit more personal character development with everyone we were following, because in the previous 2 Bridgerton books, I feel like there was just not a lot of personal character development. It was very much just romance and banter, and I feel like these books in general really rely heavily on dialogue and banter, and for me that's fun for a little bit, but then I get bored of it and I need something else to happen. And this one, while still being very romance heavy, had just a little tiny bit more plot to it, so it held my attention a little longer. It's also basically a Cinderella retelling, so it's like a fun, familiar story. We start off the story with a masquerade ball, which is always a fun environment to be in. So I found the beginning to be really strong. I still, though, I don't like how Julia Quinn writes her male love interests. I just don't. And it could just be a result of the Regency era, but these men are very Regency era in these books, but not in a good way. And I feel like they water that down a little bit, a lot for the TV show, because they've kind of reworked everyone to work better with a modern day audience. But I feel like Julia Quinn, when writing these books, really took Regency very seriously, and these men are very much Regency men, and, like, that's not gonna cut it for me. Like, just their thoughts, their values, how they think of women.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. So
I see why
we we still had some of those issues in this one, but overall I would say the plot was better than some of the other Bridgerton books. Okay. So it was a solid 3-star for me.
So is this in correlation with the season 4 storyline? Because I know that, like, it hasn't been an exact correlation so far. So is it Benedict?
Benedict, yeah. So it will be
Yep.
this next season. I mean, all the side plots that are happening in the show don't exist in the book, so like who knows where that's gonna go. Also, there have
Yeah.
been some reveals in season 3 of Bridgerton. I'm not gonna specify just in case you haven't watched it, but there are some big reveals that happen in season 3 that didn't happen until book 4 in Bridgerton because they swapped the orders of
Oh.
Colin and Benedict's stories. So that reveal hasn't happened yet in Benedict's book. So there are just some things that are different, and I'm curious to see how they're going to do that in the show, and how that's going to affect the main plot. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how true they stick to it.
Exciting. I'm very excited for the new season, to be honest. I feel like I need a season, like a new TV show. I haven't
Mm,
like watched a TV show
hmm.
and been really like just been like giggly and like have fun TV show. I haven't watched one like that in a while, so I'm excited for that. Are they doing a staggered release or is it going to be released all at
Yeah,
once?
they're doing a staggered release. I think they're doing half the season in like January 29th, and then the second half February something. So we're gonna all have to hold on for those.
Like, I don't just do like one episode a week or something. Like, no, that's not realistic.
I mean, at this point, they might as well do one episode a week. That actually might be even more fun. I
Yeah,
actually, I think the half season releases are the worst for me because it's like either just
yeah.
give it all to us so we can binge it all, or do one a week because the one a week's fun too because then we all watch at the same
Hmm.
time every week, and then like we all have time to come up with theories or discuss and stuff per episode. But with the half staggered releases, you get the worst of both worlds.
And I feel like it's so easy to get it spoiled. I have to like avoid
Mm,
TikTok when a
yeah.
new, like especially like Bridgerton, because all the like the best scenes are always spoiled for me, and I have to like
Yeah.
just scroll past really quickly.
Before we get into looking forward into February, do you wanna? I wanna like just quickly read our Fable reader summary things because I feel like those are so much fun,
Oh,
and I feel like those
yeah.
give such a good insight and summary sort of into what your reading month was like or what your recent reads were like. So let's pull up our Fables.
I should update my hang on, let me quickly finish
I
Oathbringer. I forgot to
you got
mark it on. See, I
oh.
always do it on one. I mark on like one. It's easy because I'll update my review later, but I can at least
Yeah.
rate it.
While you're updating, I can read mine. So mine
Yes.
says Fantasy Adventurer. Your literary travels include enchanting universes, epic adventures, and resilient characters. You bring magic and resilience to life, adapting seamlessly during periods of change. So lovely.
Okay, mine is a cosmic character. Your literary landscape includes thrilling fantasies with supernatural elements, resilient
Oh.
protagonists, and epic battles against dark forces. Your love for supernatural adventures knows no worldly bounds. So that's because I've read
Ooh.
like pretty much all fantasy this month.
Yeah. I was expecting mine to be a little bit more literary fiction, but I feel like I just read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and it kind of takes your 3 most recent reads, I think. So it makes
Yeah,
sense. But I think the adapting seamlessly
it's so
to
cute.
during periods of change fits my lit fic reads because those were very much long spanning, like generational stories, and I think that fits.
I like
I
that
love
it got
these.
everything for you.
Yeah.
I know, shout out Fable. I love all their little like just additions that just makes it
Mm.
like so much more fun to actually record your reads. Because
Yeah,
you're like, I
they're
need
so much
to.
fun. Yeah. I'm like, what's my summary
Yeah.
now? I actually love checking through
Yeah.
them. Okay, looking forward to February, we can quickly go over some new releases. So, one that I'm really excited for actually comes out February 17th. I'm going to start with this one. It's Agnes Aubrey's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. And I know you guys are all going to be like, Jamie, you're picking up another Heather Fawcett book. I know I didn't love the Emily Wilde books, but the premise of this one has really drawn me in. And so I'm hooked. I'm coming back into a Heather Fawcett. Because, first of all, this one is set in the 1920s, Montreal, so it has a Canadian setting. Like, how can I refuse? And it's also set at a cat rescue, which sounds like perfect for me. So this one
Cute.
I know. This one follows a woman. So she runs the cat rescue, and her landlord is this very annoying, frustrating guy who is using her rescue as a front for his disrepute. I've lost my words, guys. It's nearing the end of the episode.
Fair enough.
His
Yeah, fair enough.
disreputable magic shop. So he's very disorganized, he's irritating, but he's also very handsome. And one day, one of his enemies resurfaces, and they actually end up needing to work together to save the shop and her rescue. So this one sounds really, really cute. It honestly really sounds like the same premise as Violet Thistleweight is not a villain anymore, which I read November, I think was it, because that one also revolved around a woman who wanted to start a flower shop in that case, and it was a landlord romance, and the landlord, or she was the one who had, you know, an evil past, and her evil companions started coming up again. So it seems like a little bit of a twist on a very similar story, but I'm so excited about this one. I feel like the 1920s Montreal setting plus the cat rescue is just going to be so wonderfully cozy to read.
That is so cute. And I feel like whilst like I don't know, the Heather Fashett's like her trilogy that we've read, well I've only read the first book. Like it's her writing that's great. Like I do love like the cozy element that she gives to her writing, and I do love
Yeah.
how weird her characters are. I love a good weird character. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're so odd and unique. And so I think that's really exciting. And by the sounds of it, these characters will be pretty unique as well. So
Yeah.
that's always
Yeah.
fun.
I'm excited.
One that is also coming out on the 17th of February. Now, I had to do some research here because I put it in. Jamie was like, that's not coming out in on the 17th of February. So I'm so sorry. But for my Australian listeners, and I think UK as well, from as far as I could find, Vow of Eternal Night, which I actually read in January as well, which was really fun, by Lily Crozier, is coming out on the 17th of Feb. But unfortunately, it's not coming out until the 4th of August for US and Canadians.
Oh,
That's a big, because I remember Rebel Witch, the second book to Crimson Moth, that came out for you guys a good, I think, 2 months or a month before it came out for us. And I was so confused. I was like, why is it not going to pre-order until this time? So it's not uncommon to have some gaps in between different publishing houses, but months, that's a good few months
this
gap.
is like 6 months. That's half a year.
I know. I'm really sad because I think you'd really like it. It's
Oh,
basically a gothic retelling. Maybe just like beg for an arc. Do what I did for Wild Reverence.
fair. Yeah.
Um, it's a gothic retelling of Beauty and the Beast following Clara. And it's like, I don't usually love retellings, but this was really fun. She basically lives in like a very small town, and it is very much like almost haunted and like controlled by this prince vampire who lives on a castle at the top of his hill. And he decides that he wants to take revenge on her father because his father owes a debt to the vampire prince. He ends up taking Clara captive and being like, "You're going to be my wife." So it's like, it's fun, it's random, but like, I actually really liked the portrayal of vampires in this.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was, I feel like vampires can really be like 50-50
Yeah.
their portrayal in books, and I thought this was really fun, and I really liked the character development. And yeah, and also shout out because it's by Lily Crozier and she is a publisher at Penguin Books. She like works in publishing at Penguin Books and clearly has been writing this whilst working full time for them and doing so much for them. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. But for my Australian and UK listeners, definitely for the TBR. And guys, put it on your TBR for August.
Everyone on my side of the world, we're gonna have to wait. It's okay. We have
I know, I'm
patience.
so sorry.
That sounds really fun though. I love a fairy
It
tale
is really cute.
retelling. So that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Moving over to a romance, we have And Now Back to You by B.K. Borson coming out February 24th. This is, I guess, it's the second book to the First Time Caller, which I'm guessing it'll be some
Oh,
sort of
yep.
an interconnected standalone, so I'm not sure if they need to be read in order at this point, but it follows the same premise where it's another reimagining of a classic rom-com. So where First Time Caller was Sleepless in Seattle, this one is When Harry Met Sally. And this one follows two competing meteorologists who are forced to find common ground in this opposites attract story. So it sounds really fun. I actually haven't watched When Harry Met Sally, which I don't know if that is blasphemous on my part, but it's a classic rom-com that I missed out on. Maybe I need to get on that.
You do.
But I'm excited for this one. I think it'll be cute. I think like BK Borson's really good at banter, which I like. Sometimes I just find her books a little too long. Like First Time Caller was 500 pages, I think, and I'm like, that's a little too long. But they always start out really strong, and I do love her back and forth banter.
Okay. 500 pages. Wow. I feel like the copy I've seen, it's like a bigger copy, so it doesn't look that long because I haven't read it yet. And actually, maybe that's a good one because I have recently been really craving like an Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez style, like a romance that's just not like an Elsie Silver romance, if that makes sense. Like one that has a little bit more emotional depth to our characters. So maybe that's one I could look out for.
Yeah.
Or do exciting. We love a good romance.
Yeah. Do Cara Bestone. Try it out.
Yes, that was another one on my TBR. I've just been, guys, signed up to the library. I've just been trying to prioritize what's at the library because I think it's going to save my physical TBR, to be honest. Like, or just, I just don't have room. I really don't have room on my bookshelves for more books. And so I figure slowly taking my way off my physical TBR, which I don't have like an extreme amount of books on there at the moment, and then working through the library and Kindle Unlimited as well is like a good way to go.
That's so much fun.
Another release coming actually very, very soon, 3rd of Feb, is A Stage Set for Villains by Shannon J. Span.
Yeah,
this is pretty much like pitched. It sounds so much fun. It's pretty much pitched as like Caraval meets One Dark Window vibe. So like a kind of, I don't know. To me, it sounds like a kind of gothic theatre.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm still trying to get my head around the premise, to be honest. But basically we are set in a world where there is like this playhouse that puts on enchanting, whimsical kind of shows that really like kind of like bends reality, bends your mind. When you go to see it, you don't really know what you've just watched. And the performers are like worshipped onto this level of like, not quite gods, but like, yeah, they're very kind of like highly looked upon, but they're also quite feared. When the Playhouse announces a once-in-a-lifetime chance for one mortal to steal a player's immortality, Riven, our main protagonist, sees her as this chance to live. And so she starts the competition. From memory, there's like a little bit on the blurb that I saw as well, like she's got some reasons to be seeking out this immortality, some depths to some revenge or something. It sounds very unique. I am I have high hopes for this one.
Yeah, the theater kid in me is like screaming for this one. It sounds like Caraval, but for theater kids. And I'm like, yeah, give me the Playhouse. I'm like, give me the performers.
I'm very curious to see like what kind of the performers are, because like when it says on the blurb like they're kind of worshipped, I'm like, what kind of, does that mean they, like clearly they're immortal, do they have, what kind of magic abilities do they have? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're maybe like celebrity types. People maybe have like a favorite maybe, and they all have their different identities and everyone chooses one as their like idol or something. I don't know. I feel like I need to read this one immediately. It sounds so good.
It sounds really, really good. Well, very soon. Yeah, some good releases for February, though. Guys, do you know what's also happening in February?
The Olympics! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So excited to follow figure skating and just be so in it again. I feel like around this time I start getting TikToks. I start getting fed TikToks of figure skaters and the drama and who's going to make it.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I'm so invested in everyone's personal stories now. There was that whole Canadian debacle with the two skaters fighting for their spot, and then what's her name, Madeline Skizis, was like, over my dead body, will anyone get my Olympic spot? And I was like, ah! And then you have that like paralleled with the American female skaters right now that are all just like buddies and so wholesome. And they're like, we love each other. And I'm like, I'm so in it. I love it. I love the skating. I love the theatrics of it as well. There's also that Netflix documentary coming out just before the Olympics start. So on January 30th, which I think this episode will be out by then,
Yeah.
there's a show called Glitter and Gold, which is a documentary series following, I believe, ice dance pairs as they go through their training and their qualifications for the Olympics. And I'm like, that is such perfect timing. Like, if you liked the favorites.
I am so, yeah, I'm so curious. I don't know what it is about ice skating that's always intrigued me because obviously you live in Canada, like pretty
Yeah.
great direct line there. But it's always been like my favorite sport to watch, and I absolutely like. I go ice skating now and then, like, but I not figure skating, like it's not very big here, so I always like. Oh, I don't know what it is about me, but it's like my favorite thing to watch. I'm so excited. I literally, but
Yep.
like I have to wake up at like 5 a.m. every day to be watching it. It's fine though. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a little bit of a weird time difference because it's in Italy this year, so there's a little weird time
It's gonna
offset
be a
for
really
us too. Yeah.
It's gonna be really bad time difference. I may
Yeah.
be watching replays, pretending I'm watching it live. Um, but it's, do you watch any? Do you have any other favorites? Sports to watch? I mean, we talked about ski jumping
Um,
briefly.
we did talk about ski jumping. That one's fun. I don't watch the whole ski jumping thing though. I feel like I watch 5 ski
Yeah,
jumps and I'm just like, okay. Like I watch a
yeah.
few, I'm
It's
like,
like you turn it on, and if it's
woo!
on, it's like great.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, I'm over it. I don't know if there's anything else in winter that I love watching. I'll watch like a few of the luge ones, but those also freak me out. So after a few, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I watch any of the other ones. It's just gonna be
I
skating
find
for
that so
me.
funny.
Yeah.
So subjective in the sports.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm so
Um,
excited. There's one sport I'm excited about. That's it.
I love watching. I mean, I watch like a kind of, I feel like a bit of everything, but like same, not like follow it religiously. I just like tune in. But I will
Mm.
say, I feel like the Aussies, what we're best at is like skiing, like moguls, probably because we've got such terrible snow. We've got, we just naturally have moguls all over our ski things. Um, but like I love watching moguls. I love watching cross country and all that kind of stuff. I like watching that. I'm not big on like
Mm.
the racing, but yeah, I
Ooh,
do like oh snowboarding like park.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting to watch.
That's what just came to mind too. That one's fun.
Yeah, is there another term from that? Because I feel like there's park and then there's like the barrel.
Oh, oh.
I can't
Is it just
remember what
called?
it's called.
I can't remember what it's called either.
I don't
I'm not.
snowboard.
I'm not the one to ask, guys.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
you
also
can
feel
correct
like skating is just such a long event too because we have the team event
us.
first, which, each country submits their own team, and we have all the categories in that. So we have men's, women's, pairs, ice dance. They all go for long and short programs. And then after that, we have the individuals event. So then everyone goes again for their long program or short program and then long program. So I feel like even if you follow skating, it takes basically the entire duration of the Olympics. So like
I
every
love that.
day, yeah, like every day you get fed with hours of skating. And it's like, that's all I need, guys. I don't need any other
It's like
sport.
watch our reading count. Just be like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, February, I'm going to read like 5 books.
Yeah, it's just watching the Olympics.
Oops.
No, I'm so excited for that though. I yeah, I feel like everyone who knows me finds it so ironic that like I love the Olympics so much because I am like the least athletic person I know. So they're always like, why are you such a big fan of the Olympics? And I was like, I can't explain it, but it has like this hold over me that is never going to be released.
And I don't watch sports any other time of the year. Or any other time of the 4
Literally.
years. It's literally just the Olympics. It does something to me. I get so excited about it.
Yeah. I know. Every 2 years is it? We go summer, then we go. Which summer, I feel like I like the Winter Olympics a little bit more, sorry. But I do love summer. I love diving. I love anything. I love dressage. I love cross country, like horse cross country. Love that. I feel like track I'm not that interested in for some reason. But
No.
I
Yeah,
like the
summer.
adventurous sports.
Yeah, summer for me is gymnastics. So it's like gymnastics
Yes,
to skating.
gymnastics. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then we have, I mean, two other really exciting things in February. Jamie's birthday.
Woo! Also,
and Valentine's Day is also very fun.
Your birthday is also in a few days on the day we're filming this episode.
But then we're in,
Guys,
it's in January, so.
Fun story. We'll conclude this episode soon, but I've been trying to send Freya a gift for like a month now. Because there's something that I wanted to package for her specifically.
I have no idea.
And it had to come from here. It's like, the easy way would have just been to, order something from Australia and ship it to your place.
Well, I did in the end. Because, I couldn't get past the shipping. I was like, how does this work?
No, I was like, I need to send this to you. And so I've been trying to dodge and figure out how to send a box to Australia. And guys, it's harder than you think. But I finally managed to ship it, so I'm just trusting the shipping gods right now. It's probably in the middle of the ocean as we speak, and we're just praying it gets to her for her birthday. And if it doesn't, it might be a few days late. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm like, as long as it gets to you, that's all. As long
as it reaches Australia.
Yeah.
No, I have so much respect for that because I looked into it and the things I wanted to send, I could send from Canada. I could go into your Canadian sites and do it all from remotely, which was amazing and made it so much easier. But when I was like, oh, I could do it from here. And then I started looking, there was all this custom stuff you had to do. And it was like, oh, there's these restrictions to Canada specifically at the moment. It wasn't good. You guys had a big, post was really hard for you for a while, wasn't it? Just in general?
Yeah. There was a strike from Canada Post, which they go on strike every other month. So nothing new, but.
Yeah, I feel like it got, everything was okay. And then the next month it happened again. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not sending anything.
No, it's every once in a while it'll be another strike. I'm okay, no mail for a while.
You're
it's okay.
In a good period.
Yeah, they were open, they were willing, and I was like, okay, we're gonna send it now. So everyone, fingers crossed. Hopefully soon, Freya will receive.
Hopefully by next week, I can update.
Yeah,
and
fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll say yes.
Yep.
I'm so excited though. It's so grateful. We're just we can't quite make it to each other at the moment, so we've just been doing the next best thing.
Yeah, we're doing our best. All right. If you guys are still here listening to the end, thank you for being here wherever you are in the world or whatever time zone you're in.
Until next time, stay comfy and keep reading.
Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on socials for more bookish content.
Bye. See you next week.